Remember the days when your kids would make you a nice card? Well, they still can with some cool tools.
Here to inspire us, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator Julie Davison is back in today's Creative Corner. So I love getting the handmade cards, and so you're going to help us with that.
Yes, absolutely. So today I brought my markers, and I was going to show you a couple different techniques to do with them. Obviously, you know, the one technique is just to color with markers. So you can stamp a line art image in black and then color it in. So I have a sample here where I've just colored in like you normally would think to use markers. And we've got lots of different stamps that are great for coloring in images like that. But I was going to show you a couple other ways to use markers that you might not think of with your rubber stamps and paper crafting. So one of the ways I can use them, because our markers have two tips. They have a brush tip and a fine tip, and our markers are water-based dye ink, so you can watercolor them with them really easily. But the brush tip is really great for coloring right on the stamp. So if you have a flower stamp, for instance, and you want the stem to be green and the flowers to be red, you can color directly on the rubber with your marker. See if I can do this fast.
And that's the exact same ink that you would find like on an ink pad.
It's exactly the same dye-based ink, yes. It's just in a marker. So I've got the stems green, and then I'm going to do the flowers red.
Do you have to work pretty quickly so that it doesn't dry?
The ink does dry pretty quickly, but if you like breathe on it a little bit to re-moisten the ink, then it kind of freshens it back up. So here's the image then stamped, and you can get that multicolored image.
Very cool.
So I have a sample here. I actually used the marker. Instead of coloring in all the flowers, I used the green just to color the stems, and I left the flowers empty. So with the markers, you can omit part of the image like I did there with the flowers. And then I have the finished card, which has the, I used a little flower buttons in place there. So instead of the flowers on the stamp, I added the embellishment. So I have a couple samples here that you guys have with the stamp and then the finished card. And so you can see how, you know, it doesn't look like very much with the black stamp, the black image, but then once you add the markers and add some color, then you really can get a totally different look to your stamp.
Yeah, okay, so what do you enjoy most about these markers?
Just the flexibility, being able to color in different ways. There's so many different techniques that you can do with the markers to add variations of color to your project. I have another technique I wanted to share with you using the markers in a different way to create a background. And for this card, we're going to use one of our clear blocks. So normally we have, this is a clear mount stamp, and the blocks are reusable with the stamp. So we're going to use just the block for this. And we're actually going to use our markers and color directly onto the clear block. So this is just a clear acrylic block. And I'm going to use two different colors, the blue and then the baked brown sugar for the brown. And then I'm going to add a little bit of water. This is just a little spritz of water to sort of kind of blend that ink. And then I'm going to stamp on the paper, and I get this awesome background.
Wow.
So here's
fancy.
The finished card. I just stamped a few images over it and then added some cardstock to get that whole background.
Okay, so now that was just a block. What was on the block before?
So I just used the marker, nothing. It was just the clear block, and then I used the markers to add the color on it. So this was just sort of a tool to put the markers on and stamp the color. Here's another sample with that same technique. I just used different colors and different stamps there. So
very fun. I love that one over there that's got the little rhinestone embellishments on it too. That's fun.
And this was just standard, you know, stamping in a black outline and then coloring in with the markers. And then of course I fancied it up with some embossing and some cutouts and the little rhinestones. So you can get pretty fancy.
And it's like the possibilities are endless here with what you can do with the stamp.
Truly, you know, with a little bit of ink and paper and stamps, you can make just about anything.
Yeah, and it's kid friendly.
Absolutely. My kids are here today and they're watching in the background, but they absolutely love to stamp, and any chance they get, they break into my craft room and go crazy in there.
I bet so. And with the end of the school year, I'm sure they need to make some thank you cards for their teachers or something fun like that.
We're busy crafting for the teachers.
All right. Well, Julie, thanks so much for hanging out with us. People can connect with you on your blog.
Yep.
All right, well, we will have that linked up to CILiving.tv after today's show. It's Julie Davison, our independent Stampin' Up gal. And hey, again, CILiving.tv is where we'll get you connected.